realize, do you? And where you should not. For my ally is the Force, and the powerful ally it is. Life feeds it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us.
Yes, welcome. This is the Thehomeschooldev. We are still here. We are still here. The new year is coming to an end. And indeed, I am thankful that I'm still here. I am thankful that I've become a web developer. I am thankful that I remain resilient while continuing to learn as a developer. You know, sometimes you're in situations when your back is against the wall and you don't have you don't see when you're backed up in that corner any light at the end of the tunnel. There's no hope. And you're in a situation where you just don't know what to do. Well, in 2006, I was implanted with the dual chamber ICD, and that is a defibrillator and pacemaker all in one. Now, this defibrillator and pacemaker is made in the tech industry. And I was implanted with this device. Unfortunately, I didn't need to have the device implanted. And that's another story. But nevertheless, I am still here. And I am a web developer. And I have self-taught. I am self-taught. I've been self-teaching for a year now. This is the Thehomeschooldev. I also homes 2 boys, ages 11 and 13, who are web developers. But back to this story of this technical device that I was implanted with. This device was an amazing device. It kept all type of data about me. It recorded data about me. It recorded heart rate, how much water I was containing in my body, how fast my heart was beating, how slow my heart was beating, what my blood pressure was, oxygen levels was, and I really don't even know in depth how much data how much information or what this device was actually able to record and pick up. So in 2015, I was having some trouble with this device, and I went to the hospital and I found out the device was under a recall. So this device wasn't operating properly. But yet, every now and then I would go in to get these updates. And I would sit under this machine. I would go in the hospital and sit, in the chair. There was a nurse there, and she had a wand, a little round wand, a magnetized wand that would sit over my chest because the device is right under my pectoral, right under my skin, but I have other implants that are embedded in my heart, actually embedded in my heart. So they would put this wand around the device, and I would receive updates, and they were able to upload these updates. And at the time, I didn't pay attention to none of that. I was just there to, get served and go back home with my boys. And I started doing research because I was really angry at the medical community here in the town I live in, and the doctors, and actually furious. So I started doing a lot of research, and research is helpful because when you don't know some things, the best way to find out is research. And that's how I was able to find out that I didn't need to be implanted with the devices, because I went in my medical records and I read them, and so your medical records, they don't lie. But the device was inappropriately delivering therapies to me, and I decided to challenge the medical community, my doctors, which are electrophysiologists and cardiologists. And I was so stressed out at the time. I thought the world was coming to an end, and I was thinking about my family, and already disabled because of the device in 2006. Just worried about, what would it be like moving forward? And so my research led me to programming. I read an article that said that programmers code my device, and the type of work that they do is called closed source electronical devices. Now, I'm a web developer, and we work in open source communities where you can contribute to someone else's code because it's open sourced, right? You can participate, and people can actually see the code and critique it. In the closed source system, you can't see it, can't critique it, and you definitely don't know the intricacies of, let's say, my device. And I mentioned that I would go back to these doctor's visits to get these updates. So these updates were coming from developers, but the updates didn't work. Their code didn't work. And programming, coding technology has always been a part of my life. Not my life, but as of 2006, has always been calling me in the background. little voices, things that I experienced under these conditions were leading me to code. And you out there who want to learn how to code, you out there who want to learn how to implement a curriculum that involves coding, have a yearning and a little voice leading you towards that. That's why you're here. Please like, share, comment, definitely comment, because your back can be against the wall while you're learning the code, and you can be saying to yourself, well, I'm going through this situation, I'm going through that situation, and stuff is really like hard at this time, and how can I concentrate? Anything is possible. Will yourself to do what you need to do to make your situation better. And there's no better field to get into than tech and web development, specifically because at the end of the day, it's all about the bag. It's all about leveling up. It's all about enjoying life, enjoying family, and being productive. So these conditions were harsh for me, and I overcame them. And actually, the situation inspired me to learn these technologies, learn everything that I could about being a developer. And then passing that on to my children. They are 11 and 13 years old. They are developers. Our atmosphere, in the setting in my home is one of, yes, they're my sons, but a lot of times we're not talking about games and girls and football. We're talking about web development on a high level. I watch a lot of people, developers on YouTube, and I read blogs, and I pass the information on to my sons. They may not fully understand, but I still give them that information. They can have that information, in their database where they can reach it. But you can learn to code under harsh conditions. I was actually driven to learn everything about web development, tech, because of an implant that I had. Some days, because of the stress and all reliving the moments and why this had happened to me, and all those things that we go through when we're going through terrible situations. Don't give up. Stay focused and committed to the goal of learning to code, learning to program. It will change your life. I encourage you to keep learning, keep researching, keep struggling. You're going to struggle. Coding is not easy, but the more you do it, the more you stay committed to it, the more you remain focused, you will eventually pick it up and things will start to flow like water. This video was primarily made to explain that you can learn to code. You will learn to code. You have to be resilient when learning to code. Come on now, you can jump into it 4 to 8 hours a day. It's not too much when your back is against the wall and you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes you have to make light. You have to make light. This is the Homeschool Dev. If they're not gonna let you in, you have to kick the doors down. This is the Homeschool Dev.